All right, so my internet dropped out. Dumb, so dumb. So Sam McCallum back in Impact, ankles healed. Been about 7 months since we've seen him. What do you want to see from him? Because like I know there's gonna be a lot of discussions about putting him with Alexander in a title scene, but I think that should be held off until October when they do Bound for Glory, and kind of let Sammy build back up his brand because he's been gone for over half a year. So it's like, let's see what we can do with him before we, jump into a big feud because I feel like he's the right foil for Alexander because he can do the promos, but I also feel like you can't just jump into it because I feel like you can't waste that feud. Like we talk about like one of the biggest blunders in Impact history, rushing Samoa Joe Kurt Angle right there. So I don't want to see that happen again. Marcus, what do you want to see Sam McCallahan do when he comes back to Impact?
I mean, I'd have him pick on one of the biggest bullies and have him run up to because we're gonna talk about him in a little bit. Freaking, wow, I'm blanking on his name.
Jonah?
Gunner, not Jonah.
Macklin.
Macklin, Steve Macklin. Yeah,
Well, if Macklin's going to establish a reputation of being a grinder, that's the right guy to do it again. It's like Macklin's been succeeding in Impact, and I use that term very loosely because he's been wrestling a lot of X Division guys. So like it's really easy to have a good match with someone like Trey Miguel or Speedball because they're doing most of the work. But against Callahan, you're going to need to prove you can work. So like that's going to be a good test, and if he can do that, that'll be great. He doesn't need a win, but if he can have a great match with Macklin, with Callahan, that would really raise his stock. Although he needs to really do something more than what he's doing because, frankly, it's just ugh, Macklin bores me. Macklin bores me so much. But we're gonna skip right on into it because Macklin's a name that current in reigning Impact World Champion Josh Alexander believes is right on his trail in the Impact World Title scene. He names Macklin and Mike Bailey as names who could feasibly face him for the title later on this year. But Marcus, are those names you want to see against Alexander?
absolutely. Like I've kind of, Macklin's grown on me a little bit. I appreciate the aggression and the consistency. Like something's kind of changed. He's kind of like up that gear a little bit for me, as opposed to the guy that was just pissed off and doing stuff at random. Now it kind of seems like it's more aim coming off of that betrayal he had at the last couple shows. So yeah, he's definitely somebody. He's also very consistent in the ring too. So I think somebody like Alexander can definitely appreciate that at his caliber. And we can't say enough about Mike Bailey. You know, so definitely if Alexander, who's cream of the crop right now, co-signing those guys, those definitely guys you can definitely guys to watch. Certainly Mike Bailey, who is damn near giving, and you're gonna see it when you see the match, damn near giving Trey Miguel a run for his money as a highlight reel. And we know Trey is like the king of the MVP moment of the shows when they do these big shows.
I think the two best character wrestlers right now, and like I want to say Brian Danielson's in this train as well, but he's kind of ascended that, so to speak. He's now an act all to himself. But I would say the two best character wrestlers right now are John Gresham and Speedball. They wrestle their styles, and their styles are their personalities, and their personalities are directly tied to how they wrestle. And I think the uniqueness of each guy is going to help contribute to their success. So, kudos to Speedball. Alexander also names Mike Bennett as another wrestler that he thinks could be on his trail, and then names three former world champions in Eddie Edwards, Eric Young, and Matt Taven as guys that could be lining up for him as well. So, who knows what's going to happen with that? But speaking of titles, MLW is about to crown a new champion Their women's featherweight championship is about to be crowned on the King of Coliseum event on May 13th in Philadelphia. Taya Valkyrie, the current Reina de Reina champion, is going to face off with Holiday for the title. Now, Marcus, you're new to Holiday, so I'm not going to ask you who you think should win because I want you to see what each person can do. But how do you feel about weight classes in wrestling? Do you want to see them come in and prioritize that? Because I love it.
No, man, I dig it. Obviously one of the more recent things, and obviously it's faded out of WWE now, but the 205 Live thing was cool in concept till it wasn't anymore. So this is Holly Dead.
Ah, yes.
Uh, Interesting.
She
Damn,
got big energy.
She gives me like a look, and then maybe it's just because of face paint. Our girl Thunder, Rosa. Yeah, so she's got a good mix of Thunder, Abaddon, Rosemary, little hint of jazz in there. Yeah, that's good.
Because she's muscular as hell. So,
Yeah,
despite the fact that she's very slender, she's very muscular.
yeah, that's good. But yeah, weight classes, man, I dig it. You got your heavyweights, you got your middleweights, you got your like your cruiserweights and so on and so forth. It works in other sports. Wrestling is a legitimate sport. Um, as long as they could do it, consistently, because that's really been the biggest problem. We've seen what it's been over the years. It's transitioned in Impact to, not weight limits to no limits, and that's fine. Um, but I think MLW, it works best on those foundational consistencies. So yeah, like I said, I dig it because it's just, there's gonna be a difference between Rey Mysterio against any Samoan, even the newborn. So
Acknowledge me. So like here's the reason why I think a weight class or a weighted system works in wrestling. One, it changes the narrative because like a lot of what we see in pro wrestling is WWE. The whole major mid-tier title is a WWE concept. They created the Intercontinental title to be a quote-unquote workers belt, and now everyone has to have a main title and a workers belt. Why? In the world of MMA, every title they have is a main eventer. That's the goal. You're a champion, you're a main eventer. Why not apply the same concept? Like have 3 weight divisions for men, 2 weight divisions for women, plus the tag team division and the X division. And each weighted division is seen as a world champion. That way you can have 2 or 3 top women at the same time being champions. You can have 2 or 3 top dudes at the same time being champions. And you don't need to rely on just one core focus of the show. It raises the profile of all the other talent on the brand. And it allows a lot more, I don't want to say, not diversity, what's the word I'm looking for? Parity when it comes to who's champion. And it allows you to have a lot more flexibility and use more talent and not have the same rematches all the time. And on the specifically with Impact and MLW, because they both have a title that would qualify, it also really emboldens the concept of what the X division is. The MLW has their own title, the openweight title. So you can have these matches where, Trey Miguel takes on Moose. And it puts more emphasis and more importance on those open weight titles themselves. So I think it's just a smart move to do if you're Impact or MLW to, MLW's already doing it, but if you're Impact or whoever, having more weighted divisions, as long as they're treated with the respect that the heavyweight title has, that's the way to go. So, like there could be a day where you see the middleweight champion of MLW in the same light that you see the NWA or WWE champion, like as the top guy or as a top guy. So that'd be my hope, but I like weighted divisions, and I think more people should use them. So, plus it's not that hard to lie about someone's weight, Let's see. Marcus, I guess, put me on hold. Now I'm not on hold anymore.
the hell was that? Okay, I'm back.
All right, Marcus, let's talk Freddie Prinze Jr. He's going to be starting his own wrestling promotion. Yeah, you heard that.
I mean, that's a hell of a leap from a former SmackDown writer.
So here's what he had to say about it. I called my account after watching this GCW show, and you've made me a fan, and you're what made me watch GCW. I think you're talking to Nick Cage. Hang on. Let me check this out. No, he was talking to Matt Cardona. So he's talking to Matt Cardona, and he said, I'll put it to you this way, and you're the credit for this. I called my account after watching this GCW, and you're what made me watch GCW. And I said, I want to start an indie wrestling federation in California. And his accountant said, you're insane. You can't do that. You're going to lose money. Prince says, I don't care. I want to have enough for 2 years. So his account goes, then you have to get a job. I thought his accountant told him to get a job. Prince continues, so I took a job with Netflix and I did a movie in New York, started putting money away. And I told a couple of my friends who are successful, and they were like, yo, whatever you put in, I'll match, and we'll fail for 2 years. And everyone hates it in that 2 years, then we're screwed. Whatever. We failed doing something we loved, and if not, it's going to be awesome. I was like, dude, I'm in. So I'm literally on the train right now to build up the coin purse, the wrestling coin purse to do it. And it's all because of watching you and what you did there. And to hear you say, I didn't know if I should do this, and then see where you're at now, like that doubt that I had is completely freaking gone. So, like you mentioned, he is in fact a former WWE writer. And Freddie Prinze Jr. at one time was a Hollywood A-lister. Now he kind of shuns the spotlight and he prefers more behind the scenes stuff, but he still does acting from time to time. Are you going to be interested in seeing a Freddie Prinze Jr. ran wrestling promotion?
I don't know. I'm kind of on the edge. I mean, obviously he's been been around stuff and whatnot to know what's good, what doesn't work. Certainly worked for the big Kahuna to kind of know the inner workings there. And I appreciate him being clearly a very what appears to be a lifelong fan. But that's a promotion is a big thing, man. So more power to him. But also I'm not necessarily looking for something. It's another thing on the plate. I appreciate
True.
it, but it's also another thing on the plate. I wish him the best of luck though, because like we always say, he'll watch more wrestling in more places, for guys to work the better. So I'm not never gonna knock that, but we'll see. It's far easier in concept than in action, so we'll see.
So, if they do their first show, because like right now we're kind of just in a holding pattern to see if it ends up ever actually happening.
Yeah.
If they do the show, and I don't see Matthew Lillard, Linda Cardellini, or Sarah Michelle Gellar with Freddie Prinze Jr. in at some point, I'm just gonna cry.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I need the cast of Scooby Doo. I need that to be the theme song of the first show. Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you? We're gonna wrestle some people now. I would love it. I think that'd be hilarious. I'm interested in it. I've always liked Freddie Prinze Jr. He's one of those guys. Like
Yeah.
I got wandalickitis with Freddie Prinze. Like anything he does, like I don't even care if it's good. I'll be like, all right, I'll check it out. 'Cause I just like him. Like he's a very likable dude. I feel like we'd be friends. One of my favorite episodes of Psych was when he guest starred. So like yeah, I dig the Prince, which is spelled with a Z by the way, not an S. I'd be interested in seeing it, especially if it's done with some guys from the industry, because like he knows people, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that he could put on a good show with some good talent. I'm interested, but like you said, like there's a lot on our plate right now. Speaking of a lot on our plate, apparently this is one name too many for Marcus. We need to talk about Top Dolla, aka AJ Francis. He was released from WWE in November after him and his group, the Hit Row, came up to SmackDown after 2 weeks or something like that. And he got cut. He got let go. Him, Swerve, Brianna Brandy, and who was the other one? Tahuda Miles. Is Tahuda Miles Adonis's real name? Tahuda Miles?
Hope not. It might be. I was gonna call him Adonis. I'm like, who the hell is Tahuda?
I think it's Tahuti. Tehuti.
That's not. Just I didn't know. That's not me saying it. It's, you know.
I'm being like I'm just trying to be like I think that's it might be Tahuda. I don't know. But he was speaking with Chris Featherstone on the Sportskeeda Wrestling podcast. No, I think it was just an interview. And Francis stated that during WrestleMania weekend, he had a very good conversation with Impact Wrestling. The company was in the same hotel for its WrestleCon event, so the two sides managed to connect. He emphasized that there are still plenty of discussions that need to be had, however. Quote, I mean, nobody knows this, but we did WrestleCon at WrestleMania, and Impact was at this hotel. And I'll just say that there was very good conversations had. So there's still things that need to be looked at and worked out, and a lot of discussions that still need to be had. But I mean, the Hitmaker Z were in the building. I don't know if he's Hitmaker Z or if the group formerly known as Hit Row is the Hitmaker Z, but all right. Marcus, we mentioned off air that you don't like the idea of Top Dolla coming into Impact because he's a big dude who doesn't really move too well, and you'd prefer someone like Swerve or Brianna. What was her name?
Yeah,
Brianna
Brianna. Yeah, a B-Fab formerly with the Hero, but yeah, man. I mean, we kind of talked about that. She really doesn't have that much experience. Good look, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
looks and actions two different things. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we've seen big guys. I mean, of all the big guys we've had some really good ones and some really bad ones. Looking at Two Towers, um, I think we lost Fowler recently. Um, and then like I said, but we got a literal big whale in Jonah who literally does everything. Um, so yeah, I haven't seen a lot of him. He did some stuff in NXT. And obviously got some indie experience, but I don't know how much of a, no pun intended, impact he's gonna make. I mean, we still feels like freaking Cass is trying to find himself.
Yeah.
By the way, you know. So it's like, yeah. And then we still got guys like Shira, and then he got another uh guy of that particular descent there as well, trying to find his groove. It's just like it's gonna be an interesting place trying to where he fit in, unless he just slide right into another faction, which is something else we don't need. Like where he's gonna fit, we don't need nobody in Honor No More, nobody else in Honor No More. We don't need anybody else in Violent by Design. Feel like we feel like we still don't get enough Joe Doring in a lot of ways.
Yeah, we
Um,
need more Joe Doring in life.
and it's I don't really want him nowhere else. So it's like I don't know, man. We need some big game change. There's still a lot of freelance people out there, or people who are free coming out that WWE Extinction event they did, you know. And I think they could get some good women. Like it'll be nice to see Ember Moon, some other talents like that, and some other names that I'm blanking on right now. But it's not the knock Top Dollar, but if they bring him in, I don't necessarily know if he bring in Top Dollar.
Well, Impact's brought in a lot of names that I'm not happy about, so why not?
Yeah.
It seems to fit the idea.
So it's like they're
So
already pleasing me, just keep not pleasing.
as long as they keep up with Swan and Mac as a tag team, Speedball,
Yeah,
Alexander,
yeah,
I can find stuff outside of
yeah.
them. So like, as long as they keep them up, like you'll still keep my interest, but gots to do better. The machine guns, dig them, but you gots to do better. All right, Marcus. Anything else you want to touch on before we call it a night?
No, that's about it. That's about it for me. We don't have any updates on the flare training thing. How that was just one
Yeah,
off
I think that
video.
was just a one-off thing.
That's cool. It was cool to see him with his protege again. Well, not protege, but his Jay Lethal
Fan.
again, having them paired together since that epic promo. And no updates on uh Never Sunny in Philadelphia, Sammy Sitch.
Oh no, yeah. Right now everything is as it is.
So yeah.
So no
No,
updates, and no real major updates have been on any major story recently. So like no updates on Sonny, no updates on Zachary Wentz, Kimberly, whatever you want to call Wentz by. So all that's still kind of in a holding pattern. But if there is any major breaking news, we'll touch on it eventually.
gotcha. That's it for me.
Tomorrow, though, reminder, we're talking No Surrender or Rebellion or one of them.
We are full on rebellion. It's
There it
gonna
is.
be seeing what Chad thought about it. It's almost 3 hours, so prepping for maybe he'll get to the Batman this week. So
Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
was gonna watch it yesterday, and then I didn't. All right, for us, that'll do it. You can find us on the website at realnerdcorp.com, realnerdcorp.com. You can find Marcus. Actually, you can find us on Twitter at I was about to spell Twitter at NERDCORP. You can find Marcus on Twitter at ParadoxKid, PARADOXKID.
That's the kid.
You can also mention his other podcast that he. Damn it! Why do I say things? You can also catch him on his other podcast that he previously mentioned. That's what I meant to say. At the True Penny Show over on Twitter, True Penny Show, TruePennyShow. All their new shows get posted to Twitter, so check them out there. You can find me on Twitter at Chad Nerdcorp, CHEDNERDCORP, and on the Instagram at Chad's Photo Hut, CHEDSPHOTOHUT. Reminder, tomorrow, 10 o'clock, Rebellion review, right?
Yep.
Okay. I wanted to make sure. That'll be at 10 o'clock right here on twitch.tv/Wrestling Underground. Yeah, so for Mark Shane, I'm Chad Portal. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for giving us a chance. Remember, as always, to watch more wrestling. And Marcus, take us home.
Good night, mate.